Welcome to Indigo Brave's March Equinox newsletter. And this is our third article in the newsletter. It's all written out and you can find it below. But if you prefer to listen, I'm only too happy to read out to you as I love to communicate with words. It's actually easier for me than writing, I think. So thank you for listening. So, our third balance theme of this wonderful equinox time is our one of our favorite models at Indigo Brave, apart from the self-worth model, of course, but this model came quite hot on the heels of the worth model, and that is the zero zone. So, how to return to the zero zone and stay balanced when you are triggered. In leadership, in work, in life, things are always going to trigger us. A difficult email arrives, someone questions your judgment in a meeting, you feel criticized, under pressure, or misunderstood. Of course, work is one aspect, but home life, things aren't going according to plan. Teenagers are mardy, blah, blah, blah. You know the stuff. We feel really triggered. And in these moments, it's very easy to react. I do it myself. I still do it, even though I know all these models. I was pushed to the absolute edge recently. In fact, it was yesterday. It feels like a longer time ago, but it was yesterday. I'm under a lot of stress. We've got some real issues going on with one of our kidults, and the other one was just not supporting, not helping. And it was actually about the dog, interestingly. I was coping, regulating, regulating, and then she was rude and dismissive of our very old 16-year-old dog who's blind. Boom, and off I went. And this is very interesting because if it's a justice, if my it's one of my values of kindness and kindness to our beloved dog who's looked after us so incredibly well for 16 years, my value was crossed and I couldn't hold it any longer. No window of tolerance. Boom. And I went straight to the zero zone seesaw. So if you want to know more about this model and see it actually worked out in action, do jump on the Mighty Networks and ask a question because the model really needs the picture. But I can show it you visually. So if you imagine that you've got this triangle, actually this triangle, but that's a whole nother story, but this triangle and a seesaw balanced upon it. And if I go to the plus side of my triggering, I'm broadly in fight. And if I go to the minus side of my seesaw, I'm broadly in flight. No right, wrong, no, neither one is better than the other. They both cause different sorts of problems, but they're both a reaction. They're both coming from for me, it was a failure for me to regulate my nervous system. Great. So the what's interesting, I mean, I did go to about 7.5, I won't lie. Uh, perhaps a 5, but it was definitely whoa, straight off. But we tend to forget that at work we will get minus side as silence. It doesn't have to be huge flight. It doesn't mean you've left the room. You can still have gone down the triggering. The plus side can look equally calm. Well, I don't know. Let's see. It's that bristle sensation that goes up your spine, and you're trying to be polite or professional. Actually, you are triggered. And the problem is that when we're triggered, our limbic brain is still perceiving a threat, whether the threat is there or not. So blood will automatically, without our control, leave our brain, leave our digestive system, and move to the extremities. You are literally less able to think coherently with your frontal cortex if you are in this triggered system. Of course, we know where this comes from in evolution terms. This was incredibly useful. It helped us fight, flight, freeze. There's a modern aspect to this, which is fawn as well, which is just try to please. So try to be differential to whatever we're perceiving the threat as coming into. And afterwards, we might think, why did I say that? I don't agree with that. What was that about? It's down the minus side, and it's just fawn is trying to get underneath the problem, underneath it. It's the equivalent of the dog who hasn't frozen or run away, but they've laid down and shown their tummy. It's the oh, I'm not a threat, I'm not a threat, trying to please. And we can often react in these ways to critical feedback if we feel that's not been handled correctly, or we feel seen in that somebody else is seeing that critical feedback. That can really bring out that fawn because it could feel like you're about to be ganged up on, which is a horrible feeling because it challenges our belonging. So, as we know that our thinking is compromised in these situations, it's so important that we take a moment, that in any way we can, we try to stop the situation, see if you can get out. Box breathing, breathe out first, hold for 5, in, hold for 5. I think the out breath first really helps box breathing. It was a trick I picked up when I was learning to scuba dive. You always breathe out first if there's something not quite right, or you feel nervous about something around you. Absolutely brilliant. And you can't expect not to get triggered. So stop it in the moment, box breathe, and know you're triggered. No joke. Non-judgmental observer. And then you've got a chance of regulating before responding. That will give you non-reaction. Don't have to react from either side of the seesaw. It will help you get back into regulation on that 0 zone, not even 0.5 off. Give yourself a bit of time to get back. Okay, that's a whistle-stop tour through what is one of our most effective and really fantastic models. So if you'd like to know more, get onto Mighty Networks and we'll be able to see pictures and explanations of this really useful model. Get in touch and we'll be only too happy to tell you more. Thanks very much. Enjoy the spring and we'll see you soon.